Welcome to the Lila Life Show. I am your host, Linda Andrews. So pumped to be with you today. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and let's dive in. I'm launching our new episode type, which is called Integration Sprint. As you may know, I'm an integrative advisor, which I consider being the combination of coaching and consulting, as the word advisor would imply, and integrative, meaning that everything is connected, and specifically in this context, the intersection of business fundamentals and well-being. And so in these integration sprints are topics that I hope you find resonant and that will help you in your life and business journey. And so that's what I have in store for you today. We're going to get into a little bit deeper support around goal setting. I know if you tuned in last week, you were able to listen in regarding alignment session and checking in around your quarterly goals. And the more I sat with all this, thought, let's dive deeper into the actual goal setting part and break down some of those mechanics more. So I hope that you find this supportive and valuable. Moving forward, you can get the guest interviews on select Fridays, and you can tune in for these weekly integration sprints, which will be on Mondays. And I just thank you so much for being here. Last little update that I have, I do send out a weekly email that comes out if you sign up through lilalife.co, the website. You can sign up for the newsletter there and you will get a preview of the podcast to come. And in that should give you some journal prompts, some insights. It's what I call the aligned action integration opportunity, where you can just have some thought-provoking insights to help guide you wherever you are on your journey. And again, that'll be the sneak peek to the podcast. So housekeeping officially over. Again, pumped to be here with you today. For those of you that are local to the West Palm Beach area, I am teaching regularly at a local co-working spot. They are a nonprofit called 1909. It's been a really rewarding experience working with some of our local founders here. And yeah, just wanted to mention that. So check out 1909 if you haven't. And if you need support in your work journey, launching a business, needing workspace, check 1909 out. They could be a great fit for you. All right, you got some ads in there, it feels like too. So your guide to smart success, what the heck is effective goal setting all about? It's about clarity. It's about purpose. I hope in your life, in your business, you have some idea of why you're doing this. You have some idea of where you want to go. You have some guardrails, what I like to refer to as the values that drive you. And all these elements click together. And with that clarity, you can create goals for yourself to get closer and closer to that long-term vision. And I like to think of the mission as like the car that's driving you there. So the SMART goals framework is by no means anything new. I want to share some antidote with you. Specific, the first letter, SMART, specific. Define your goals with precision. What do you want to achieve? This goes hand in hand with that clarity element. The clearer you are with your goal, the easier it is to focus your efforts. The world is filled with so many distractions. At every turn, I literally just saw a pigeon fly in front of the window, right? That could be a distraction, but I'm not distracted. I'm focused. I'm locked in. My goal with podcasting is to reach 200 episodes, and we have some milestones to support that. We're about 150 in right now, which is pretty exciting. So great, you have a specific goal. Having your why be a part of that is also really important. Having the goal be measurable. Can you add a number to the goal? This allows you to track the progress. So this is the M in SMART. It's measurable. How do you know when you've achieved this outcome? Great question. How will you know you achieved the goal? That can help explicitly state what that goal is. And when that timeline comes and you should have quote unquote met your goal, you can ask yourself, did I meet it or not? Yes or no? And eliminate that gray area. The exercise of missing goals is very powerful if you let it be, with the feedback loop to say what worked, what didn't work, now what? If you do that inquiry with yourself to make the adjustments, it can be really empowering. Achievable. SMA. Is your goal realistic and attainable? AKA achievable. You want to challenge yourself, you want to push yourself, but especially if this is new, you want to make sure this is achievable. This helps you get your confidence up. Being mindful of your actual resources, your actual constraints, And I do include your time, your energy, your attention, your money when you think about those resources and constraints. You don't want to be delusional. Relevant. When you think about alignment and you think about the vision for your life and your why, your purpose, your values, your mission, is this goal relevant to all those things? Or are you doing something that's actually a distraction or that's taking away from what your actual goals should be? That's a mirror moment. That's for you to have a mirror moment with yourself. It's when you look at the mirror and you look at yourself and you think, yes, no, am I being honest? That little check-in. The eyes don't lie. And then last but not least, is it, not last but not least, is it time bound? It is last, it's not least. Time bound. Do you have a timeline? This gives you just enough pressure around the sense of urgency, helps you stay focused, stay motivated. There's one of my favorite yoga teachers, she talks about, do you need pressure or time? Do you actually need more time to do something or do you need pressure? And this is where that time bound can give you that implied pressure to get things done. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time defined. Does this add to your well-being? Does this add to your prosperity? And consider the ripple effect of those around you. That can be part of your why. Who else in your life is impacted by this? So setting a SMART goal, an example, I want to increase my monthly sales by 20% in the next quarter by reaching out to 50 new potential clients by October 1st. I like to use anticipation as an opportunity to do some risk mitigation. So what could go wrong? First of all, being aware of how do you get in your own way can be one easy way to anticipate what could go wrong, right? Like, let's say you're in an environment that doesn't work for you to do work. Let's say that you are double booked because you have different responsibilities at home that you're not accounting for. How do you derail yourself? Do you have self-sabotage patterns that you can really let mess you up? So thinking about literally what could go wrong. And then in the broader process, what I see, there's a lack of specificity. So the goals are vague. How much specificity, how clear can you be with this? The more specific, the more precision, it allows you again to do that tracking. They're unrealistic. They're too ambitious to the point where you don't meet them, then you feel demotivated and you're just cranking down your confidence through that process. Anticipating what could come up, you want to have goals, you want to make time to do them, but you also need to have a buffer of flexibility. And that anticipation exercise of what could go wrong can help with that. Procrastination, one of my antidotes for procrastination, aside from very specific goals, is breaking those action steps down to the tiniest actions that you can make them. And then a part of that is prioritizing them. And this I see a lot, failing to review your progress, right? You set this all up. I'm going to do this in 90 days. And then are you checking that daily, weekly, monthly, never? How often are you checking in around these goals? And that feedback loop around what's working, what's not, now what can help you reassess, readjust, and go forward. So if you like to do some workshopping, identify your goal. What do you want to achieve? Life, business, finance, where is it at? Make it SMART. So take it through the specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Put it through that SMART filter. And then you're going to list all the action steps. And it's not just the ones you're going to do, it's what you could do. What would make this goal possible? Get some zany ideas in there. When you do this step around the actions, make sure you're breaking them down. I talked about what could get in your way. Break it down to as many tiny actions that you that can really help with momentum. In addition to this, adding that priority, adding that time allotment, right? This is going to take me 2 hours. This takes me 4 hours. This takes me 20 minutes. And that can allow you to get that into your schedule. So then you can set that timeline, you can know your milestones. And then last but not least, you're reviewing, you're adjusting as needed. So again, getting clear on what you want, using those last steps, take immediate action and make it simple. I see people, I've done this, I'm gonna have 4 goals. It's like, let's get one goal. Let's get some habits going. You can add more in later, but let's build up that capacity. Let's build up that resilience. I'd rather see you make progress and complete one goal than have 4 and not, which is a bit counterintuitive. It's like you go into the goal setting and I'm going to do all these amazing things. No, do one thing, do the first thing, break it down, make it simple, get yourself a win, get that W. And I see so much, especially in business, like some people really have broken the trust with themselves, maybe even with others. And part of that entrepreneurial journey can be very spiritual. It's like rebuilding the trust with yourself, the showing up for yourself, that you can do it. And if you've had past experiences that have beaten you down, you're beating yourself down further by sabotaging your success by making goals that are not achievable for yourself. So stack those wins, get those wins, have that clarity, have those check-ins. I love the Best Self Co planner. They have a 6-month planner. It's undated. I love, love, love it. It makes it so easy for me every day to review my day, to set up my next day. And literally every week that I use it, I get more and more invested in the process because I am able to look back and reflect back and see my patterns and see what I'm not doing and see what I'm doing. And they have a monthly habit tracker that is so fun that you can start to see all your check boxes there. So I definitely notice in my Best Self Co planner some of my OCD-ish tendencies. I have a highlighter that I love using with that thing. And I'm like, every time I get a new one, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go really easy on the highlighter, white out, and pens and random scribbles, and every time I just go for it. So I get a lot of utility out of that, and check it out if that feels resonant for you. I hope this little episode, our integration sprint, landed in the way that you needed it to land. I would love to hear what you're working on. If you follow up with the email from last week, you'll see some notes on this as well, and it could be helpful for the application. And I will see you next week on the Lila Life Show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. I do this for you. I want to hear what you need, where you're stuck. Let's break through this. I truly, truly, truly believe, especially in the business world, there is so much potential. There are so many problems in the world, and you can use business as a tool to break through those. And so that's my aim through this programming, is to help you have some insights, get that momentum. And if you're not in business, there's ways you can obviously see that this applies. So thanks again for being here on the journey, and I will see you next week on the Lila Life Show. Linda Andrews, Integrative Advisor, host, signing off. Sayonara.